Hello, I am going live with a beautiful woman inside and out. Her name is Bree Guillory, and she is a House of Color consultant, so she owns her own franchise, and she's a teacher. And so she signed up for the money management course 24 hours ago, probably not even 24 hours ago, honestly. And she is going to share her experience and her results with you from being in the course for less than 24 hours. And she has some really good insight for you. And so I'm going to bring her on. She's coming. Hi!
Yeah.
Listen, I don't have lips on today because my daughter has stolen all of my lipstick. So
Forgive you this one time.
I've started something in this house.
Yeah. Hey, passing on to the next generation.
No, I don't know whether to be mad or proud. So.
Right. Right.
I was just telling everyone that you joined the money management course, like probably not even 24 hours ago, right?
Not even 12. No.
And not even 12?
Or not even 24.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, not even hours.
I want you to tell them what you told me this morning about you not thinking that it was for you. Can you go into that?
Okay, so like most people, I've been patiently waiting for the chance to work with the Mind Her Business girls. And I was like, okay, this is $67. Like, it's worth it to at least, really, I was like, I'll just get the spreadsheet. I'll get the spreadsheet and then we'll go from there. What I didn't realize is that I thought I was budgeting in quotes. I thought I was budgeting. I wouldn't say budgeting well, but I felt like I was budgeting consistently because I would go into my app and I would, plan my, adjust my expenses or my budget for each category each month based on spend. And I thought I was doing a good job tracking. But I still wasn't like getting ahead at all. Like I was just kind of swimming from behind. So I was like, oh, well, I don't know if this is for me because I already know my numbers. I know that I have a lot of debt payment. I know that how much money I make. Like I know what's in my account. So like maybe I don't need this. Silly me. I'm glad I did anyway and just took a chance because what I realized is that, well, yes, I know what I'm spending. It's only month by month in my app that I was using. And so I would look at March and plan April, and then anything that happened before March was just like out the window. And what I also realized in my app that I was using was it would like suggest categories for me. So whenever it would say, Whataburger would pop up, it would be like, this might go in fast food. So I would just like click, 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 click. And what I didn't realize was actually typing the number and like pressing plus and typing another number. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like adding so much to this specific category. And so actually doing it, like having my bank account open, having a spreadsheet that has all of my personal, all of my business, and the whole year was just like, oh, like this is like a full picture of like my finances. And now I can adjust accordingly. And there are a few categories that I'm like, there's a lot of money that's getting spent here. So it's like, okay, what can I do now? And what I love about the course is probably my favorite part besides the spreadsheet, because I love a good spreadsheet. But you were like, hey, if you were my client, if you were a client for Mind Her Business, this is what I would ask you. This is what we would talk through next. I'm like, okay, do I want to save, trim, pay off debt, all of the above? And so it helped me make a plan like, okay, here's where I'm at and here's where I need to go starting this week, which I'm taking action immediately. So it just feels really good.
One of the things that I love about you saying that though is the manual input is what people are most afraid of. They're afraid of like doing the actual work of like finding the numbers and putting them in the spreadsheet. And the act of doing that is not as hard as people think it is. We give you a spreadsheet that you literally just put numbers in. All the formulas are done. We've tried to think of everything for you. But I heard you say that there's some categories that you were like, we might need to rein those in.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part about this. You can still spend, but you get to spend in categories or at places that are really important to you or that you value. And then you can pull back in those other areas and pay off debt with that money. Or, you don't even have to make another single dollar in order for this to work really well for your financial goals. And that's what we really want people to understand. When you make more money, now you're really going to be like, you're going to be adding gasoline to the fire,
Right.
because you're going to know exactly what you're doing with it before it comes into your account. Right. And so the future planning is like key. So when you're looking at 30 days, you're like, dang, you're in there with a microscope and you're like, what did I do wrong? What could I do better? And then when you pull out and you have, let's say, 3 months of data, you're like, wow,
yeah.
I go to Whataburger like 7 times a week. That's not important to
right.
me. And then you can make your decisions based on that. So you get to see patterns. And when you see patterns, that's when you get to make decisions and change. What would you say to someone who's like, I don't know, I hate spreadsheets? Because that's what we hear a lot.
Yeah. Well, I love spreadsheets. So I don't really resonate with I hate spreadsheets, but I will say that it's done for you. So like you just open up your bank account and type, and like all the things that you probably hate about spreadsheets is taken care of, because all the calculations, like this minus this, all the formulas, it's fine. And even if you don't know how to do all of that, Marley talks through that in the course. Like if this happens, you have to add a row or delete a row. This is what you change. So it's very easy. And honestly, like the small discomfort of opening a spreadsheet compared to not worrying about your money is like, what's worse? Mm-hmm. Like being in crippling debt that overwhelms you, or like opening a spreadsheet and being uncomfortable for 5 seconds, like it's fine. You'll live.
When you put it that way.
Yeah. Like you'll be fine. It's worth it.
I love that attitude. What would you say, what is your biggest takeaway from your numbers that you saw? I know that you have a business.
Yeah.
And so like those two things are interconnected. You have them in separate bank accounts. Right. But like in your mind, they weren't exactly separate. What was your biggest takeaway for that part?
Yeah, well, there are 2 things I would say. The first is seeing it all together. Because I was trying to because I do have separate accounts, which I think is wise. Like my business expenses come out of my account, my personal, but I pay myself from my business account to my personal. And so like, it's kind of the same money, but like just in different places. And I was trying to keep them so separate that like if I use my business debit card to make a personal purchase, I would like refund myself from my personal, which like is not bad. But I just was thinking of them separately. So looking at all of my personal expenses, all of my business expenses, and all of my income, because I have income coming from a few different places now. Just having it all together was really helpful. Another really big thing was I call it the paycheck calendar. I'm not sure what the name of it is. The bill calendar.
Yeah, the calendar view or the monthly view of that. Yeah,
monthly view. So like when I'm getting paid and how much I'm getting paid, when I'm paying myself and how much I'm paying myself, and also what expenses are coming out of what account, so I know how much needs to be in there. And also, okay, once those are covered, what do I do with the extra money? Do I roll it over to the next week? Like for example, and not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, I'm going to Houston because my parents live in Houston. So I'm going to visit them. My best friend, her daughter's turning 2. So we're going to go celebrate. And I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to need money for gas. Probably going to get Whataburger on the way to Houston. So like now I know, okay, here's how much I have in the account to start the week. And when I, enjoy my weekend and spend my money how I want to spend it, I'm going to factor in gas because I need to get there. And also once I'm there, I'm going to have like brunch, I'm sure, and like, have some fun. So, and I tried to do a monthly view of my bills and paychecks on paper. But like it was too small because I had some days where a lot of things came out. And so I'm like doing it online or like on, Google Calendar is so much easy. And then Marley was like, okay, you just click, remind every month on this day. And I'm like, duh. Like, so now it just pops up on my, on my calendar, like, hey, you have this bill coming out tomorrow. It's like, okay, let's make sure there's money in the account for that. So it's just super helpful.
The goal for that from our perspective is to take all of that out of your head and put it somewhere so that you can go on with your life, so that you can go to Austin and have fun and not worry about like, oh gosh, did I transfer
Right.
money? Like enough money? Like, should I
Right.
be going through the drive-through right now? The goal is to take all of those questions out of your brain. They've already been answered. You already know the answer. And so you can make your decisions accordingly. And it's like, especially if you're a mom, you guys, especially like get all of those questions out of your head and put them somewhere. Even if you don't join this course, that's fine. But like put them, the answers to those questions somewhere so that you remove it from your brain and you can use your brain for the things that you need and want to use it for. So I know that you are seeing clients all this summer. Do you feel like you said something about now you know you only need X amount of clients when before you felt like it was a little bit more daunting than that? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So when I think about like, you know, the debt that I'm working to pay off, which we're chipping away, but you know, slow and steady. And like, oh my gosh, I have to see like this exponential amount of clients and like every single day needs to be fully booked so I can like just make the ends meet, which it's like much bigger in my head than it is on the spreadsheet. Because the spreadsheet like subtracts your expenses from your income. And so you see how much personal profit you have. So I'm like, okay, so I put all that in. And when I looked at my personal profit, I'm like, oh, I only need like 1 or 2 extra clients a week because I'm already booking pretty consistently weekly. So if I book 1 or 2 more clients a week, then I'll be good to go. At least like I'll feel more comfortable with the amount that's in there. Now, if I do more than that, then great. We can, you know, attack that debt faster. But like, obviously debt is like the first thing that like my highest priority right now. And so I'm like, I have, you know, this many clients a week normally. If I book 1 or 2 more, I can tackle that debt faster, which will give me more of my money back to spend how I want. So
Yeah.
I had to do way more than I actually have to do. And that helps me to not be psychotic about like booking new clients, but just being like, just do what I normally do and serve people the way that I serve them. And, you know, just focus on getting a few more each week.
It sounds to me like the pressure was taken off. Is that how it feels?
Yeah. Like just like a deep breath, like relax and serve your people and make money.
Literally. Oh my gosh. It's so good to hear you say that because that is exactly what we want for people. So when we sit down and we designed that, it was like, okay, how can we get them the fastest wins? Like, how can we get them to feel relief immediately without taking 2-3 weeks, even like months to do this?
Yeah.
And you did it like in a couple of hours.
Literally overnight. Because once I started, I was like, I'm already here. So like, let's just like knock it out. And then I just wanted to finish. So I was like, okay. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, let's see what expenses I have to track today. And it was like 1. I'm like, okay, cool. Moving, you know, like not a big deal. I'm all caught up. And I love that this is happening this weekend too, because tomorrow is June. So like June 1st hits and I can start June with like this new plan and, you know, actually budget for real ahead instead of budgeting for and just see what happens in June. So it's really exciting.
When you're, I just thought of this, but like when you are tracking things that have already happened, it's like your brain is going, oh, I only have this much money left. So like you immediately start like, oh my gosh, like, do I have enough money? Is there enough? Will there be enough?
Right.
Should I be making more? So it sends you down this spiral sometimes when you are forward planning. So when you know, like next month, I need this amount of money.
Yeah.
I have these thumbs up. I need this amount of money. I have these expenses. Then you're like, oh, okay, I can afford to go do these things and have fun and live my life. And I'm not pulling myself farther away from my goals. That's a different mentality. That's like, oh, I still have $50 to spend on eating out this week instead of going like, I only have. It's the weirdest and the simplest mindset shift.
Yeah.
But it's so much more freedom than I only have this much left.
And I think it takes away that like surprise. Because like there's nothing worse than like waking up and it's like your account has been overdrafted. I'm like, no, what did I do? Where did I go wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happens when you track from behind. It's like, okay, well, now my account's in the red because I was at Whataburger 7 times last week, which is not even a Whataburger out here, but obviously I love it. But when you plan ahead, it's like, okay, I know that I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
Like my money I'm in a good place, and I don't have to be like shocked by
Mm-hmm.
expenses that come out. And sometimes like the day that the bill comes out is like, 1 or 2 days difference. But like in general, it's like, hey, this week, I know this is coming. And so I can prepare instead of just letting it happen to me and being like I know the bill's there, but like not knowing when is just like, it's simple, but like just write it down, just track it so that you're not caught off guard. And then you can't do what you want to do because now you have to keep certain amount of money to pay the bill, so.
Would you say that it's a really simple process? We think it is, but we're also very biased.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I think starting also because I was thinking like the month is pretty much ended. So I like tracked all of May, but it really wasn't that hard. Like you just pull up your banking account and you type in your transactions. And I had quite a bit in the month of May with business and personal.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's pretty simple to me, but I mean, I love numbers and knowing what to do and where it's going. But yeah, I would say it's pretty simple. And then once you have it, when you start the next month, you're not like tracking from behind, right? Like tomorrow, I'm just going to track tomorrow.
Right.
And then one day at a time. So it's maybe a lot at the beginning, like a lot of transactions
Mm-hmm.
to track. But then once you do it, once a week, every few days, then it's not that bad.
The maintenance is where we want you to get. So when you're in the maintenance phase, it's so much simpler and easy, and it takes like 1 to 2 minutes a day, maybe, if you want to do it once a week, like 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah. And I remember you saying, I've always wondered what the heck to do on a money date. Like that made me laugh because I was like, oh my gosh, I forget that it's so ingrained in me that I forget sometimes that money dates are not a thing that other people do regularly or know how to do. But now money dates don't feel like daunting to you?
Yeah, no, not at all. Because Meredith always says, like, she'll post on Instagram and be like, just me and my, just did my money date. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, at one point I literally scrolled your Instagram and I was like, where are the steps for what to do on the money date? Like, I was kind of psychotic about it. But now I know. And now I can do it. I think I'll do it probably every day in June, just like when I'm drinking my coffee in the morning, just because I don't want to get behind and I, just want to see what it's like to track it every day. But now I know. So I feel like I know a secret, which is not a secret, but I'm like, I can have a money date now.
I'm in the club.
Yeah. Yeah. I made it.
Note to self, write a piece of content and pin it about a money date.
Please, because the people want to know. I did at least. I was like, what does she do all the time?
I love you so much. You could next time just ask me. Just come and ask me.
I probably
I'm the real person. Marley and I are both in the DMs.
Yeah.
Today is May 31st. It's the last day to get this for $67.
Yeah.
You get instant access to the course.
Mm-hmm.
You can take instant action like Bree did. You get the spreadsheets. So you can use the spreadsheet over and over and over. You can change it for your season of life. Mine regularly changes because of the ages of the kids or like who's in school, who's not in school. And you have 2 one-on-one, two group Q&A calls with me and Marley. So if you go ahead and use your instant access, now you get to practice this. Mm-hmm. And then Bree, you can come to the calls with like really specific questions and specific numbers. And it's going to be so much easier for us to give you like concrete recommendations. I'm really excited for those calls for you.
And I thought about waiting until the Q&A call which I also could have just DM'd you because I just sometimes am dramatic. But I was like, I wonder if I should put my business expenses on here. And I was going to literally wait until June 10th to ask that question. And I'm so glad I just went with it because now I'll be able to track both for like 2 solid weeks so that when June 10th comes, I'm like, okay, here's how it's been going. Help me. Let's just celebrate or both. So I feel like the faster people can get in, the more time they have to try it. And then at the Q&A, it's like, okay, what's working, what's not, instead of being like, I just filled out my spreadsheet. And, I
Yeah.
just feel like time, like I just want to soak it all in as much as I can. And the way to get the most out of the Q&A with y'all is to be as prepared as possible with doing what y'all told me to do. So I'm like, I'm going to be confident and take action and then show up with all the information that I have and see what I need to do next.
Teachers make the best students.
Yeah.
We're like the best students.
Yes.
Just cut me loose on some homework and I will
Right.
get it to you in 5 minutes.
Yes.
You, like, even if you come to the calls and there are, like, you're struggling in an area, that's also okay. Like, any questions are welcome on the Q&A. Any way that we can help you, like, fast forward this journey, that's the goal. We want you to not have to stay stuck in whatever struggle or challenge you're in right now, or even if it's just the spiral of the questions, which is where my brain likes to take me. And it's not fun when my brain takes me all the way down the spiral. So thank you so much for coming on here. Is there anything that you would say to someone who's like, I'm still on the fence?
Just do it today, because this is will ever be. So especially if you're worried about money, the price goes up. So like, do it before the price goes up.
Yes, I agree. And then we will see you on the live calls. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So fun.
I'm proud of you. I can't wait to see the results just 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, they should be good. I'm determined to be a good student.
You're a great student.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Bree. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.